So recently I came into a bunch of money from gambling at the local casino, in which they were trying to stop me in my efforts to get big. But, you know, I prevailed. I decided to stop at my workplace, which I will not be talking about, but they have the Quest 3 there, and I was like, oh hey, this seems like a fun toy, let me buy it. 500 doubloons later, I sit down on my desk with the most disappointing piece of technology I've had in the past, I don't know, years. I'd like to think, all jokes aside, that this thing is pretty cool, but it has some issues. So, this thing runs on a pretty good processor. It's a lot smoother than the Quest 1 and 2, which I had both of. But there's still issues when it's connecting to PC VR, which I will do a small segment on later. The pancake lenses are generally better than the last ones, and I forget what the last ones were called. These pancake lenses offer a way better field of view, and at what cost? Light refractions! So they finally fixed the glasses spacer. You used to have to like put on this actual piece of plastic on the headset that would space the headset from the glasses, and it was like completely non-adjustable. It was kind of a pain in the fucking ass. They put like an actual adjustment switch that actually moves on different pivots. I think it's like 3 or 4 different settings. That's pretty cool. The pass-through is pretty cool. You could like see your real space and like interact with like the virtual environment in your physical space. I thought that was actually pretty decently cool and impressive, I guess. They improved tracking, like just generally, like controller tracking, hand tracking, head tracking, like everything. It just generally smoother than the predecessors, but you know. Even after all this though, this shit is so fucking expensive. 500 doubloons a pop. That's kind of a lot of money. The accessories. The accessory issue. People just buy accessories for this shit like there's no tomorrow, because the stock accessories that come with it suck dick. The stock strap is awful, even after 2 other tries with the MetaQuest 1 and 2. This shit is just bad, like really uncomfortable. They didn't really change anything between the 1 and the 3. They just figured out how to make it more uncomfortable every time, I think. You could always buy the Pro Strap or the Elite Strap, whatever the fuck they call it, but that's like an unspeakable amount of money. And everyone always goes third party anyway, because everyone knows Meta can't make a good product, and they've demonstrated that pretty well after 3 iterations of the same fucking headset with minor improvements and a steeper price point every year. The general consensus is that the Bobo VR strap with an AC and battery pack is the best, and that shit is like, what, 90 bucks on Amazon right now after tax on sale? And it doesn't really enhance the experience that much in my opinion. I had it on my head, and I'm autistic, but that shit was just mad overstimulating with the AC, I don't know. It like is way more heavy physically on paper than the original strap, but the way that it distributes its weight should make it more comfortable theoretically. However, I really didn't feel like that really made it more comfortable, and it kept unsnapping from my head because I have a very pretty face. And I guess it doesn't like my face. I think you have to be ugly as fuck in order to be able to put one of these things on, because it just kept on doing itself, I don't know. Another thing is that people don't really feel satisfied with their $500 before tax purchase, so they need to go buy a really expensive accessory for their toy called full body tracking, which just allows you to be able to thrust into other people in VR and it be projected into the game.
Take off your pants. You said you were easily persuaded in doing things.
Specifically VR chat. No one really uses full body tracking for any other fucking game besides VR chat, so. The cheapest full body tracking setup is about 350 bucks from what I've seen. And it's just a dumb idea in my opinion. Like I said before, the only case you would use this is in VR chat, and you can't even track every body part, and this doesn't even give you face tracking, which would be admittedly much more impressive than body tracking. Like I said, $350 before tax. We're already like 950 bucks into this if you got the good strap and the full body tracking. And most people get both. At this rate, you might as well just buy the Valve Index, and I'll circle back to this later on in the video. Trust me, how VR has come full circle is getting its own mini segment as well. The last point relating to an accessory that I have to make is in relation to the glasses spacer incident. I am nearsighted, I can't see jack shit without my glasses, And I thought it would just be fine to just put my glasses on and put the headset over it. No, even with the spacer, I tried everything. Still not working right. It's a little bit blurry. I don't feel totally immersed. It just sucks. The only solution to this is to figure out your glasses prescription, and then you gotta punch it into Meta's website and pay an expensive ass fee to get this. Yeah, I'm not too fond of that. I thought we were done whenever I paid $500 for the device. I thought it would have everything. Since when do you buy a car and not get the tires? Now, I know that I just recently came into a lot of money after hitting it big at the Hard Rock Casino, in which right after I was consequently thrown out by the staff there for hitting it big. VR has really come full circle in terms of expense. I mean, the Valve Index is the most practical headset out there right now, because, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, we're already about $950 pre-tax deep in this purchase if you're getting the accessories that you basically need to make this a somewhat comfortable experience. And the Valve Index is what, 50 more? And you get Half-Life Alyx with it for free. Whoopee, big deal. But yeah, if you have unlimited money dollars or you're a pirate or some bullshit, you could always opt for the HTC Vive, which was like, back in my day, the big badass thing, and that was like one of the first. But we're kind of coming full circle with this because its price was the thing that shied people away from it, and they were all like, oh, VR will never be practical, it will never be cool, it is too much money. But hey, we're about 1,000 deep already, so why not just spend a couple hundred more and get the HTC Vive, huh? We really are coming full circle. This thing just feels like whatever. Just like having a new toy. I don't know. I'll get a new $500 toy in the next week probably. Fucking love credit cards. Another big issue I have with this thing is the fact that the games on there are kinda lame until you hook it up to your PC, which is admittedly what everyone kinda does after messing around for a couple hours with the shitty Android games they get you. That you still have to pay for, by the way. But yeah, PC VR just kinda sucks on this thing. No matter the cable or method you use, it still sucks. So there's two methods you could use. You could wirelessly connect it or wire connect it. Most people use the wire connect, but there's been successful instances of a very sleepy man or a very drunk man laying down on his bed and using the VR headset like that, wirelessly. That's called AirLink, and that's a thing that the Quest 3 is supposed to have improved on. You have to have like fiber optic NASA internet for the shit to even work halfway properly, and even then it still kind of looks like ass because the bitrate is so shitty. Even though it's adjustable, it's kind of just like meh, I guess. The other method you can use besides AirLink is this program called Virtual Desktop, but that's a $25 program, and I don't know, it's a lot better than AirLink, but I just don't want to spend $25 just to be able to wirelessly play VR. It's the same fucking amount as a halfway decent wire from China on Amazon. Now you could wire your connection and this would fix all your issues. I don't know if it's just me for some reason, but I used a pretty good cable. It's like the highest rated on Amazon. But unfortunately, I get like this scan line effect going on after like 10 minutes of playtime. It's like looking through blinds a little bit. I don't know, it's kind of uncomfortable, makes me feel a little bit sick. And also, apparently, VR chat just runs like shit, just like generally, and people are just used to that. I don't know, I have a pretty decent computer. I mean, it was like a $1,500 computer. But the game still runs around like 30 to 60 FPS on a good day. I don't know. The device itself supports well over that, and so does my computer. Anyways, I think it's time to wrap it up. I know a lot of this has just come back to the cost of it, and it's not me complaining about being broke, obviously. My point in bringing up cost so much is to kind of show that like this whole concern over the cost back in the day when VR first came out is just totally gone for some reason, and I don't really feel like it's a good reason that it's gone. VR isn't really that impressive in my opinion, or at least not impressive enough to justify the steep debt you'll get into as a teenager who wants to shove their face in some fat VR chat titties. You know, been there, done that. But if you want my honest opinion, even though I'm not too fond of VR, if you want to get into this shit, you better just go for the Valve Index, because then at least you'll get Half-Life Alyx for free, and you won't have to buy any fucking accessories because it comes with everything for $50 more.